Two.
Take two on episode 2.
Take two on episode 2. All right. So this is the second episode of our the third shift, chopping it up about some music again. So
Yes, sir.
start this thing off as always. Like what have you been listening to, man?
So we talked previously about this producer by the name of Steve Lacy, who produced a song on Kendrick Lamar's Damn album. And he ended up producing the song on his phone. He ended up doing an interview like, yeah, I made that beat off my phone, and Kendrick liked it. So he had that crazy, you feel me, story in his background. And he just released his new album called The Lo-Fi's. And it's literally like an alternative R&B, just because it has like guitars, drums. He's singing some, he rapping a couple bars and some. Like it's literally just his sound. And that's what I've been listening to, mainly for inspiration as well, just because of that creative aspect he has to his music, where he's just, this is what I like to listen to, or this is what I like to make. I hope y'all like it too. And I've been messing with it.
And I'm interested too, because I know earlier we were talking about, the fact that people like producers and stuff, or maybe like 20 years ago, they'd be like mind blown.
They would be freaked out. They'd be like, there's no way you, like, I'll just say a quick example. Like, when I was younger, when I first started getting into producing songs, like, I went to YouTube, grabbed a sound from YouTube, put it in my downloads folder, put it into a studio software, downloaded some drums, downloaded some snare. Like, that was literally my creative process. Like, somebody back then was literally had a record up to a recorder, and they're like, okay, I want to use that sample. They put it on another recorder. Like, seeing what we do now, producing music, they would be like, there's no way this is possible.
Well, like I told you earlier, man, it was like when I was listening to G's and Hustlers by Snoop Dogg the other day, my dad was like, oh, this is a beat from, I think he said like Parliament at first, and it wasn't Parliament. It ended up being somebody else. And it was this dude's like exact same beat. Like it didn't even seem like it was crazy. And it's just like, the idea that people do that, man, and like the way that sampling and just making your own stuff now, like, has just changed so much. Like, even in our lifetime.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say. I mean, just because I remember the term crate digging was like a big thing, as far as like you just go to a record store. Oh, this album looks cool. I'm gonna take it home and sample it. Like, that was literally what people used to do, and now you literally can just go on YouTube, go on Spotify. Like, you can just literally listen to anything and download it. Like, that's crazy.
And I'm curious to know, like, when we have kids, so let's say like 10, 15 years from now, like, what is this going to be like? Are people going to do everything off their phones then?
I actually had this conversation with somebody, because everybody is saying, like, people, obviously our phones are getting a lot bigger. So we're eventually just going to have tablets. Why not? It's going to be faster. It's going to hold more stuff. You know what I mean? You'll be able to do more on it. And I'm like, I'll be down with holding a tablet.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like if you were here for this, like the technology era, man, like you're definitely going to be cool with the changes that come later on. Like, just using records to go into like cell phones, like there's probably such a drastic jump.
Yes. For sure. So
definitely. And I asked you earlier, man, because I've been listening to a little bit of Freddie Gibbs recently, and we kind of talked about he's like a little weird because we don't know a lot of, like, I feel like he's like the San Antonio Spurs. You don't know a lot of Spurs fans, but like people respect.
They're out there. No, that is funny. I told you the only way I knew about Freddie Gibbs was he made a whole project with Alchemist, which is a very known producer in the New York's music rap scene. And I mean, before then, I didn't listen to no Freddie Gibbs. I didn't know anybody that listened to Freddie Gibbs. So the fact that he's getting nominated for Grammys now, and like he widely known, like, I feel like it low-key came out of nowhere, but hey, he been grinding for a minute. I'll give him that.
I'll tell you, because the Alfredo album that came out in May of last year, I didn't know who he was before that, but I'll be real with you. The cover caught my interest.
Okay, that's big time.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, the cover's cool, so let me go check it out. And he's not terrible, man. But like we were saying earlier, he has a single out now too with Schoolboy Q, Gang Sign. So like which
is a banger.
So I'm just like, the more I hear this dude, and people have been on him for some reason. I'm like, I'm all about it.
I feel like he's one of those examples as well in music. People that have done it so long, he's kind of mastered his craft, or he's in the process of mastering his craft. Like where people are like, this is good, like this is at least good. You know what I mean? And to his fans that's been there since day one, they're like, oh, this is insane. This is the best music out.
Bro, but I'll also ask you this because I was wondering. So it said I think he released his first project in 2006. So when you look at all the rappers throughout our lifetime that have been like in their prime, like early 2000s, you had like 50, Jay-Z, all those guys, and then like early to like mid 2000s, you had like that's like Lil Wayne started and Drake. So,
Kanye ran a lot of that,
So do you feel like he's been good? He's just been overshadowed by these guys like crazy like primes and whatnot.
Yes, I think that's exactly what it is. I feel like he probably was just overshadowed. Like I said, was still mastering his craft, didn't give up on whatever he was doing, and he just pushed through. Now he at a whole nother level now. Yeah,
it's crazy because, you know, he did have his Grammy nomination, and we talked about how we feel like we didn't really know we didn't know what to make of the Grammys really. We were just kind of like,
well, I asked you what was your thoughts on the Grammys as a whole. What do you feel about the Grammys as a whole?
Kind of like we were talking. I feel like it's just like the NBA MVP. It's a popularity thing.
That's so funny.
It's definitely a popularity because, like we said, man, Macklemore over Kendrick Lamar. Never forget that. That might be the biggest snub of all snub.
Never forget that. I remember I was in a group chat at the time, and everybody was texting like, Macklemore won. I'm like, yo, like, I don't know. Like, I think I was listening to that Kendrick album. That was Good Kid, Mad City, wasn't it?
Yeah, Good Kid, Mad City.
I was listening to the album, like, reading the news about the Grammys, like, I can't believe this.
I can't believe this actually happened. I will tell you, man, like, in the history of, like snubs in the world, that might be the worst one.
Yeah. And then, I mean, just going back to, a lot of people don't like the Grammys for this reason. If this, it's just popularity. It's not people really looking at the craft of it and seeing how much Kendrick put into that album over Macklemore's one-hit thrift song or thrift store or whatever.
And I don't even know the name of the album.
Exactly. And it's like that Kendrick album, like he had a story to it. Like it was talking about his childhood, and it was like a prime of his career, and it's like it got completely washed away over, like you said, a popularity contest.
It's like you have Dr. Dre on there, MC8, all these guys, and I'm like,
it was crazy. It was crazy. It was
a huge disservice. So, so Nas did win. Was the best hip hop album.
He did. In that category though, that category was interesting because who else was in that? Jay Electronica. I seen people talking about that on Twitter, and I couldn't believe it because I don't know if you know, but Jay Electronica had Jay-Z featured basically on every song on the album. Yeah. And Jay-Z had that album in his book bag. Like Jay-Z completely carried that album. So I was kind of spooked that people were like, yo, Jay Electronica deserved that. Like blah blah blah. But that category was just not it, and a lot of categories weren't. Like we was talking about best rap or best album, just literally album of the year has Taylor Swift, Post Malone, Coldplay, Janae Aiko, like people that are on whole nother genres.
Yeah, and that was kind of like our conversation too about like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like you should probably change the name because it's like every year you basically get everything but like rock and roll.
Exactly. But that's almost where we're at in music now. Like music has just changed so much, and I'll just bring up the Grammys again. They had a couple categories like best melodic rap performance.
I saw that. I wrote that down.
I was like, what is that? And Anderson .Paak won that. And Anderson
I saw the Box was nominated. I was like the Box and then Rockstar were the two. I was like,
Heist in the Room, Travis Scott, like it. Like just so weird, but it was a lot of credit to Anderson .Paak because I feel like Anderson .Paak is one of those people where a genre doesn't define his music. You know what I mean?
I think he's underrated too.
Oh, he's very underrated.
He's underrated.
But like what was another category where I was like, huh? Oh, like best dance hall music. It went to K-Tronda, which is he's like a new up and coming producer that he has dudes that raps on his beats. Like he has like it's literally all over the place, and the fact that he took that home, I'm like, dang.
I can't think of the name of the album right now, but the group The Internet doesn't he have a song or two on there?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yep. That just proves like K-Tronda, he's like over all genres. Like he don't discriminate at all. So the fact that like award like the Grammys boxes him in as a dance producer, you know what I mean? Is like I don't know.
It's kind of weird, yeah. I don't know. I'll tell you, I was a huge fan of Megan Thee Stallion winning Best New Artist, but like,
yes,
I feel like the people she was nominated with though, like I'd never heard of like any of them, so I was kind of like, okay, this just seems like a runaway.
It's big time because I like what Meg, like the Megs of the world and the Cardis of the world are doing as far as like that, bringing confidence to woman artists and stuff like that, and I feel like she's a rare breed in that category. Too, yeah. So credit to her for even being nominated and winning that category. Did you see their performance?
Did I see that?
There was a lot of I seen both sides of it on Twitter. I love Twitter because you always see both sides of every single argument that goes down. Yeah. And there's the people that loved it, and there's the people that hated it. And I felt like the people that hated it are the people that don't agree with the music they making. And it's like, if you don't like it, keep it pushing. Like, this music ain't for you.
Exactly. And I see so many people that were getting mad about it. And my favorite people are the ones that were like pulling the Dr. Seuss argument up again.
Yes.
They're like,
yes,
oh my gosh, Dr. Seuss books are terrible. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with this performance.
Exactly.
Like, you're just being that person, man. So it's like, just get off the internet, let them have their moment, man.
And it was also a big moment too when Meg and Beyonce were on stage together, and Meg was like, you could generally see she was starstruck, bruh. Yeah. And I was like, yo, that's big time for her to even be in that position of her career. Like, I'm still starstruck, but I deserve to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was big time.
Both being from Houston, and that's like, I think that's
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely big for their city too, dude. So it's just like, it's crazy. But you had, so I'm curious to know this next question because you told me about it.
Yes.
So pose it to me again when you walk out.
Okay, so I was watching March Madness. You feel me? It is March Madness right now, and I'm like, if I'm a coach, what song am I gonna let ride before they run out? So I'm asking you, you got your whole team in front of you, you just gave your fire speech before y'all game. All right, hey, I'm gonna let this song ride while y'all finish getting ready. What song you letting play, man?
Bro, so like I've told everybody in this question, man, it's gonna have to be Three-Peat by Lil Wayne. So we're gonna have to fast forward the first, maybe like the slow part of it, the slow intro, but like once the drums and stuff, it has to be Three-Peat by Lil Wayne.
Dang, that's a banger. That's a banger.
It's a slapper. It is a slapper.
I used to listen to Lil Wayne all the time in high school. Like you know how you have like a pregame playlist or some type of pregame like album or songs you listen to? Lil Wayne definitely was in there somewhere. But
I feel like when we were in middle school, bro, in like high school, he just couldn't be because it was like Carter 3, No Ceilings, like I'm Not a Human. It was just like every year.
He was dropping a lot of music that a lot of rappers at the time could not compete with.
No.
And that's real.
That like year 2 window, bro, he just like everything.
Yes, yeah. So
what's
my song? I'm only saying this because me and my boys back at Lord's, we used to let this album ride a lot. It's off of More Life. It's that free smoke, man. I'm, I'm
I
turning
love
on, I'm
I
turning
love
on free smoke.
the intros.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
both, bro, freeze. Yes, that. Hey, listen, that might be one of the best Drake intros to anything. It's underrated.
It was, and I swear every stadium we played at that when that album dropped, you heard that in somebody's warm
Oh.
up song rotation, and everybody's in there like, yeah, free song.
Ready to go. Bro, so I'll tell you, speaking of like intros, man, I think another song I'd have to battle with repeat would be Tuscan Leather, but skip to the second verse.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's hard. Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmares is kind of there. It's kind of getting played out now. But I would kind of sneak it in as like a 2 or 3.
Oh.
Like, hey, y'all still getting ready? All right, let me let this ride.
Bro, so I'll tell you, when we I went to a concert maybe like it was almost 3 years ago with my girlfriend down in Cincinnati. And they're like playing all the music before the artists come out.
Yeah.
They play Dreams and Nightmares, but it was like the last part when Meek just like absolutely snapped.
Right, goes crazy. Yeah.
And my girlfriend's like, I don't see what the big deal about this is. I'm sitting here like,
Hey, hold on.
hold on a second.
Yeah, I remember when that first came out. I remember I used to go to school and literally argue with people like Meek Mill is top. He in the top tier rappers right now, man. Off this album alone, like that whole album was great. When it dropped, that whole album was great. So to have that type of intro on that album, I was like, oh yeah, y'all sleeping on Meek Mill. I was literally defending him until that whole stuff with him and Drake happened. Then I was like, all right, everybody.
Listen, that's kind of the point too, where I was like, all right, Meek, I can't defend you anymore, man.
Exactly. Hold on. Did you see? Because I'm gonna let this picture or video pop up in the middle. Did you see that random video of Meek Mill in the pool and he just had French fries on him?
Is this a new picture?
No, it was kind of old, kind of new. It was terrible, but it just added to how goofy Meek is, like on a regular basis. Like he just had French fries just on his lap. Like what are you doing?
I know you seen the video of him slipping on the ice.
Yes. He's just a goofy dude. He definitely a goofy dude.
He is. He definitely is. So I'm trying to think. So let's get into the. I know we both collect obviously different types of music. I know you said you've even got some cassettes recently, right?
Yeah. So so it's this artist I follow, Logi. He's not big at all, but he up and coming, and he dropped a vinyl, and then he dropped a cassette tape for the people that couldn't grab the vinyls. And I was like, a cassette tape. I didn't own any cassette tapes before this. I didn't care to, and I bought it. It was like $10. I was like, shoot, I'm supporting him. I'm getting a cassette tape. So I get the cassette tape, and I have to order a cassette tape off of Amazon. I ordered just a small. Hold on, I'm about to show you real quick.
Yeah, so
I got it right here. So I ordered the cassette tape player. Look, I got a little cassette tape player.
Oh, that is crazy.
And yeah, I got the tape, and it's crazy because so once I got all this, I headed to the record store. I had to see what else was out there. So I got like Neptunes. I got an old one of Snoop Dogg's older albums. Just a bunch of classics. I'm like, this is definitely another form of music because it doesn't sound like a album like that you would listen to off your phone or something. Like it has like that grainy sound to it. Like it's not that loud, but it's interesting because it's like it's just another form to collect music. And I know that's what you were saying a lot about vinyls as well.
My dad had given me a cassette in like middle school, and I actually just got the vinyl for it last week. But it's just interesting to see like how everything kind of does make a comeback. But you got me wanting to go get a couple cassettes now myself.
I think you should. I think it's worth a trip to just see what they have. Because like I said, I found a Neptunes tape with Old For Real on there making beats. Like I was like, oh, this is hard.
This is nice. Because so we were talking about like different forms of obviously like the music comes in. So we said vinyls, cassette, CDs. So talk about the NFT because I know you said like obviously artists aren't making as much money now because no live shows. So different ways of, I guess, selling their music. So talk about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically what we were saying, like, about how artists now in 2021 are dropping vinyls, tapes, things to make money outside of streaming. Because streaming is literally like 0.0001 cent a play. Like, it's something ridiculous. Yeah. And so artists now, like you said, there's no shows, there's no tours. So artists now are literally having to force themselves to think of new ways to make money. So what's been trending now is this NFT. Just my short interpretation of an NFT is basically some form of digital art or digital item is cemented, and it's basically forever, and there's only one of it, and it can only be purchased with a cryptocurrency, which is like a Bitcoin, Ethereum, something like that. And music artists are literally a example is Mick Jenkins just dropped one. He linked up with this visual designer. They made like some type of like 3D picture that was just moving, and he had his song behind it, and there's only one copy of it. Yeah. So it kind of raises that like, hey, I got this and you don't type aspect, that which is very big in music collectors, and the whole aspect of an artist being able to produce an income outside of streaming, basically. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that? Would you buy an NFT from somebody?
I definitely would. Like, if somebody I really liked had something out, or was like one of it, I'd be like, yeah, I'm definitely getting it. But it got me when you told me that Elon Musk has some so it's like, you know, it's the real deal.
Exactly, because Elon Musk has been moving a lot of stocks. He literally like these probably like past like 3 or 4 months, he's been super powerful as far as like investments. Yeah. And these NFT stuff, he said he about to make he got like a little beat, he got a little like picture twirling around. He like, hey, I'm about to upload this and sell it. And people are gonna spend money for it just because of that unique value of it. And I can see it being super big as far as like you said, like if there's only one of something and I got it, I think that's a cool thing that I definitely think will grow more than what it is now.
So if I were to ask you, what artist would have to do that for you to buy it? Well, like who would the artist be?
And that was something I thought about soon as I seen Mick Jenkins do it, because I like Mick Jenkins. I would consider myself a pretty decent Mick Jenkins fan, but enough to I think it made it up to like $2,000 to $3,000. So I don't know if I'm spending that type of money for a digital, you know what I mean? Just one digital song. Like I don't know. That value hasn't hit me yet as far as an artist. I would be like, oh, I'm definitely about to be the only one to own that. You feel me? Music, like I've seen people starting to think about ways to do it with music videos. Like it's a lot of different things that they're trying to monetize as far as like there's only one of it. Yeah. And that scarcity is raising the price to who knows where. Who knows what people are going to make from this, but it's just the vibes right now.
Dude, honestly, I like the way that's going. I kind of do like the whole idea of that. So.
Yeah. And it's cool because a lot of people, I mean, like we were saying, like a lot of artists that we personally like and that we personally support are not eating how they used to, or you know what I mean? They're not able to create how they used to because of the lack of funding, the lack of money, and the lack of support. And if this is a way that builds back up, hey, I'm for it.
I'm all about it.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Well, this is that was all the topics for today's episode, wasn't it? I think that was everything.
Yes, sir.
So we're on our little March Madness bracket together on ESPN. So I'm thinking like next episode or in the future episode, we can definitely talk Sweet 16, Elite 8, stuff like that.
For sure.
And definitely some more music.
Always. That's what we doing. That's what we doing on third shift, man.
Yes, sir. That's what this whole thing is about. So, well, yeah, this is episode 2 of the third shift. Great topics as always. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. We do have our handles and everything we do. Malik does a great job editing and posting them. So, this is the end of episode 2, and we'll see you guys next time on the third shift.
We out.